Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're finding yourself. If you're watching this, you are watching BJ's Esoteric Musings, and I'm BJ. And yes, it's been a hot minute or 10 since I have made a video other than collaboratives, and there's a reason. And I thought I'd talk about some of that today, and I thought, being as I am quickly approaching 1 year mark since I began this adventure on YouTube, that I would reintroduce myself a little bit and let you know my purpose, what I'm all about, and what I am trying to create here as an environment and a community of light for all that seek. Um, and I hopefully am providing good content that is bringing value to folks. That is my goal. I can tell you that during this time of quiet, a lot of it was at the insistence of my guides. As many of you know, we have had so much going on, not only here in our country of America, but all around the globe. Things are popping off. It's crazy. We see a huge division beginning, actually been going on for a while, and this division has to do with the separation of those who are seeking the light, holding the light, moving into those higher frequencies, but at the same time, we have those who are so entrenched in the lower vibratory messaging that they have not been able to see the truth or extract themselves from it. And so we are in this precarious balancing act, which is not so balanced at the moment, but it is necessary. And as I've said for many, many years before I ever began YouTube, um, my comment was always, we are in the process of birthing something onto this planet. And anyone who has ever gone through childbirth knows it is a difficult process. It's fraught with challenges, fears, um, unexpected outcomes. I mean, so many things go on in a birthing process. And that's literally what we've been seeing. So, should not be shocking or surprising to most of us, even though we're kind of have scratched our heads and said, "What? This isn't this isn't what I thought." But it is not about what we think. It's about aligning ourselves in such a way that we surrender to the process in a very active way of being, not as a passive observer. That time, I think, has shifted and going away. We need to be active participants in all that we are seeing. At whatever level we are called to do that. For some of us, it's simply stepping out in our spiritual armor every day, for lack of a better way to put it, and making sure that when we move through our daily errands and things that we are doing within our communities and a little wider at times, that we are holding that light, that we are not allowing ourselves to be buffeted about. And I can tell you, it is a real thing. I I don't know if any of you saw our last, actually, no, I don't think it was in a collaboration. I think it was behind, the meeting, after the meeting, that so many collaborators do, where they critique how the video went, and that sort of thing. And I mentioned something, and Nicole said in passing, Nicole from Cosmic Blue Avian, she said, "Oh, don't worry, Missy." And of course, she means that in the most loving way. Your time is coming. There's a challenge coming, because she and Loretta from Mother's Tarot, and both of them have shared this on their channels, that they were going through some real changes that was causing emotion, causing a lot of things in them. And I thought, I must not be doing something right, because I'm not feeling that. I had been very feeling like I was kind of staying above the fray, staying positive. And even though I was doing that, I was still getting bombarded in my energetic field, unbeknownst to me. And beautiful Nicole pointed that out. And like I said, I don't know if this situation that happened to me on Tuesday, the 17th of all days, we all know that that was going to be a significant day. But doggone it, I got up. It was chaotic before my feet ever hit the floor, which is unusual in my case. We tend to wake up here very quiet, very contemplative, donning our light and our joy, and then we get out into our morning. And usually for me, head right to the coffee pot. Well, I had a lot going on Tuesday. I had appointments I had to make early and all this kind of stuff. So I was trying to get some other things done quickly before I left, which cut my time a little closer than I like to. Um, and so as I jetted out the door to get my errands and appointments done, I failed to put a cloak of protection around myself. And I want to tell you, as many years as I've been aware of this, as many years as I've been practicing this, I got in the churn of chaos like you wouldn't believe. Everywhere I turned, something crazy was going on in our little community of maybe 8,000 people now, but still, uh, just crazy stuff. People backing out of parking spaces without even bothering to look, and me having to quick go back into mine. Um, uh, my husband and I have been in the process of switching our banking, and so we're in that parallel situation right now. And he had asked me to start using my new debit card on Tuesday for anything I had to transact. Well, nothing was going through, and my card was being funky, and I ended up at the bank, and they said, "Well, how long have you had this?" And I said, "Well, I think I've had it almost a month." And I told them my experiences, and I really don't debit that often, and so I hadn't used it, but I said 4 times this morning this thing has failed, and I don't know what's going on. It's a brand new. So they look at it and they go, "Well, this is strange because it got canceled for some reason." And I'm like, "Okay, what do we do to fix that?" And the gentleman said, "Well, we shred this one and we start over." So that's what by the time I was ending that part of the morning, I was so spun from everything. I thought, okay, that's it. Getting in my car, going next door to the Mexican restaurant I love to get meals from. And I thought, I'm getting their wonderful veggie burrito and I'm going home and I'm putting on PJs and that's where I'm staying today. And so I get over there and of course they weren't opening for another half hour and I thought, well, yeah, there's the icing on the cake. So I just went home and I walked through the door and my husband looked at me and he said, "Oh my goodness." He says, "It looks like you've just been through it." I said, "Yeah." And I think I just got handed a lesson. And so he was so sweet. He says, "Well, I'll tell you what. Go ahead and order your lunch and I'll go get it for you. You don't need to go out of the house anymore." And I'm like, "Okay." So that's what we did. But interesting that afternoon, as I started, I was watching a YouTube channel. And as I was watching it, information began coming to me. And uh, I want to find it if I can. I'm telling you, I have had so many notes. But this one, yeah, this one was the one that said, "Okay, girl, you need to." It gave me a whole checklist. They said, "You know this, but we're going to remind you once again of what you should be doing." So I'm looking for that quickly. I thought I had turned to it, and I don't know if I don't see it here, it may be that here it is. Every morning, this was my download. Ground, cloak, and protect before going out into the day. Plug in frequently to balance and recharge. Times are extra draining right now. I'm sorry, my scribbling is little because I was writing and not my normal writing. Uh, okay, so we must do these daily practices in order to hold to higher frequencies for longer and longer durations. And then in huge letters, I have duality. Well, okay, knock me over with a feather, right? I was like, yeah, I know this. How could I have goofed this up so badly? But it's because I was in a hurry, and we all do it. We all think we got it covered. Oh, I'm just going out locally. I do always cloak before I go further afield because things get chaotic in some of the little bigger communities around us. But, here on my home turf, I thought, oh, I'm going to be gone a few hours max with everything I got to do. No, we are in very different times. This is the message. Different times call for different measures, and where we could do this intermittently, we must now, as I'm feeling pressed, that we do it every time we leave our secured environment, and that we should be doing that as infrequently as possible till things settle down, because we are in for some shifts yet for a while, and it's going to get volatile. And I apologize, I am sweating here, which tells me I'm communicating at a different level too. And also, you may have noticed I have on a turtleneck today, and I'm not sure if this is going to be a good fit as far as um, when I first started committing myself to spiritual practice in earnest. Um, One of the things that I noticed as my sensations and sensitivity and vibrations were shifting, I became very aware. First, I could not really wear makeup anymore. Um, I seemed to be allergic, and every time I put on any kind of foundation, uh, I felt like I was smothered. So I went to products that were more natural, and I occasionally will use a little, if I'm feeling a little spritzy, I'll use a little powder, but it's mineral powder. It's nothing that's full of yuck. Um, but even that, I just am very, very sensitive. Natural fibers. I found that I couldn't wear any more blends. I couldn't wear anything that was not considered natural fibers. So that meant going all strictly cotton. Uh, Rayon was okay. Some of the blends you get out of uh, India, for example, those are fine. But I really had to do away with any man-made fibers because they just made me feel like I was choking, literally choking in, and not, I, I don't know how you can say your whole body is sensitive to things. You know how things hit your radar sometimes clear out here, and you go, wait, whoa, whoa, what was that? Yeah, it was keeping me from being able to sense those things. So yes, this is not complete natural fiber, and that's why another reason why I'm sweating. So I apologize if you're seeing me glistening over here. Ah, okay. Now I'm going to go on with a little bit more of my writings, and then I'm going to pull together a reading for the end of the year and see. I've got multiple decks here, and we'll see how that goes for the community at large, for all of us light workers who have been so stretched to the very edges of our tethers, um, who have been really, really rocked with everything that's going on, not fully understanding. And hey, isn't that basically the truth, that all of us, none of us get the full picture? We just don't, especially in times where things are volatile. Things like we're facing on the planet right now that has not been. This is a whole new way of being that has not been anchored into this planet. And hopefully, there are enough of us now that can make this happen and at least begin the process, begin drawing it down, anchoring it, being the light. Now, one of the things that I got recently, this came through. I yeah, this was earlier in October when I wrote this. Resistance in the anchor to lightening up. Release fears. Stand in our what? Stand in our authenticity. Claiming in our totality who we are. Come into your own. What's coming in for October? Divine balance. Clarity as things we've wanted to see now manifest after eclipse. Before rest, shed light on anything we haven't looked at. Do your rituals. Oh, well, geez, Betty, they told you. Meditations. What is your purpose? We need to get clear on that. Are you working with that? Legacy. Taking care. Our souls know the way, and the only way out is through. The only way out is through, and the only way through is in the divine act of love. I pause because we get emotional when speaking deep truths. Excuse me. Okay. Reluctance to sit with something, you need to recognize the ways of what approximately it was building to our first power. Use our experiences to empower and bring us into balance. Creating, co-creating, expanding our horizons. Involvement. Today is the day. Clarity in our wisdom, more insights coming in. And remember to play. The inner child needs play, and it is what helps to reset us and give us breathing space between the onslaught of all that's going to be bombarding us over the next months. Continuing. Remember to order your thoughts. Would you keep ordering the same meal if you didn't like it? Why do we do that? Redirect negative thoughts. Acknowledge and be kind to self. Erase and replace. And I took that to mean erase anything that has not been of purest intention that we have put out, and replace it with something that does, and then lead by example. We have a dark celebration around the globe. This was just after the election, which was not an election. And we know that information will come forward. That's all I'm going to say on it. And I'll explain in a minute why. But the dark celebrations around the globe, are they helping to mask the evil intentions of the powerful, greedy, question mark, Again, the admonition to actively surrender. I know most people think surrender, they think of the white flag and we give up. You win. No, that is not the surrender that Spirit is asking us to be involved in. It is active surrender. And that means that we look to the well within and then purge anything in the periphery that is still might be there and not serving. Replace that with higher concepts. Actively surrender after doing that. And I will give you a little bit of this. I just read something else on the next page. This is something that again I wrote towards the came the latter part after the election, just before coming into this month. It says, America is in a collective inhalation of air and has not yet let it out, and to draw in a fresh breath. The analysis of paralysis is occurring as we try to suspend our disbelief and begin to figure out next steps. The psychological effect of drawing in a gasped breath like that, that puts us literally into paralysis. It locks up the muscles and the body can't engage. It's one of the first things taught to a student of the martial arts. The yell gives no, that's weird. The yell, what it does is it gives a momentum to the body. It allows the body to move, to engage at that point. And without that, we stand inactive. So the yell is what engages the parasympathetic and allows us to function in the moment. By sitting in this suspension, we freeze in the confusion and not able to keep our emotions of grief of this latest issue before us. We sit in near stasis waiting for what next. This gives time to the universe to do its work. Those still in denial to begin to see the actions of their leaders, quote unquote, and wake up to what's going on for real. But this is a point where action will be required, and that is coming soon. And this I wrote about a week or so ago. I had planned to come out that week with this, and I was told no. And I actually had a whole domino effect happen at that time, where my back literally felt broken. A lot of discomfort, and so many of us going through it. I was trying to do a collaboration with Allie over at Heart and Soul Connected. We had to keep postponing because tech wasn't working, things weren't working, weather wasn't working. It was one thing after another, and we were both like, "Gosh, are we ever going to get this done?" And luckily, we did. But as I listened to, I don't really follow news, but it doesn't. Any of you who are trying to not do that, know it seems to seep in anyway. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with the book Where the Wild Things Are. And I had thought about reading that book to you, and I may do that again, but I'm just going to quickly share the notes. But part of it is that Max, the little boy, has a really tantrumy sort of day. And as it says, Max pulls on his wolf suit and makes mischief of one kind and another until his mother calls him a wild thing and sends him up to his room. You go to your room till you settle down, or you will not have supper. Well, he went in his room, and with his little monsters that were where all the wild things are came to him. He roared his terrible roars and he yowled, and then he finally, after all the ranting and raving, things we've been seeing others doing, he takes off the beast suit, his wolf suit. He resets himself and he comes to the family table and discovers the food is still hot. But you are now cool and you can enjoy it. We are at a time of reset. That is the message as I've been reading through this. That's the consistent thing. Reset and active surrender. Be about that. Full-throated yes and arms wide to receive in quiet acceptance. Feeling love in your family circle. Set the past aside. We are the firewalkers of frequencies in this time. It was said that the first baptism by water and the second by fire and spirit of fire indwells as we grow our internal landscape. Stay above the chaos, dance along the top as the old decaying systems self-implode and crumble to ash and dust. Do not get caught in the vacuum that will surely occur as all is cleared and cleansed. Keep the heart joyful so that we wrap ourselves in light. No fight, no judgments. Let it do what it must be done. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Be the light. Be peace. Be compassion. Be understanding. Be love. Transmute and blessed. And bless chaos or light. We all choose. We are in a time of choosing. That's where we are. And in saying that, I'll give you a little blip about myself, and then we'll do the cards. So, I started this finally, I want to say around the 28th of December last year. I had been prompted for a while that I needed to let my voice out, that I needed a YouTube channel, and I said, "Oh, I think you're asking too much of me. I am a woman who can't even tolerate having her picture taken most of the time. Can't do it. It doesn't, anything I look at, a photo of myself, especially something that's staged, like a photo, you go to the photo place and get family photos, whatever. They don't look like me, I don't think. Seems like the only time I get a photo that I like is something candidly done with me not knowing, and usually by a loved one. There's something about the love that a person holds in their heart that seems to come through their camera lens as they take a picture of someone they love. I don't know how that works, but it does. It's energy. Energy collects onto that lens, right? Inside. Boom. There you go. I prefer those. But I kept getting told, no, your voice needs to get out there. I kept getting different prompts. I'm like, not doing that. No, not doing that. No, I don't feel comfortable with that. No. Finally, they just said, just do it. I'm like, all right. So I took my little rickety, this laptop is basically like a tablet. It's so low key. I got it simply because I was in the process of writing a book, which I've set aside to do this. And I need to get back to the book as well. They're giving me all kinds of prompts, but I think I've been stubborn a lot of years too. Imagine that. A Leo with as much Leo placement as I have, being stubborn. How could that happen? But but yes. So I came on here, and one of the first things that I was told before I ever started this was do not talk politics. And I thought, my God, I'm a political animal and I'm very opinionated. And I just am so disgusted by what has been going on for so long. I mean, 40 plus years. Um, but they said, no, do not talk politics. And they also told me that by not doing so, my channel would build very slowly, that it would be only those people who most needed to find me would. And it wasn't until after the election, and all of a sudden, I I went quiet and I started observing the different channels and seeing how they were being impacted. And I began commenting to a number of them that were apologizing up and down and sideways for being inaccurate and blah, blah. I said, stop it. Stop it. You have nothing to apologize for. You gave the best information at the time that you were giving it. Don't discredit yourself over this. And then it hit me. This is why we did not want you talking politics. Your channel is too young and still growing, and you would have had it kicked to the curb had you been political. So I was like, okay. All that time I was thinking it was me because I can get very, very direct when I talk politics. And I do so on my Facebook and other things. But I knew I couldn't do it in this format. And I hope that everyone would understand that, especially any of the channels that happened to catch something that I had recorded talking in this fashion and not seeing it as, oh, better than, or that's not my purpose. I don't roll that way. Never have, never will. Nah. I did it because that was what my mantra was going in, and I had to respect spirit, as we all do. So that's why I have not talked politics. And yes, the channel has built slowly. Somehow I've ended up, one I know I duplicated by accident, and then apparently, as my husband's been checking, I have a third channel, which is bizarre. But YouTube will not combine them. So between the channels, I have 49 subscribers on this. On another, I have 15, and on the other, I have 7. For some reason, I've had a hard time building to 50 and beyond. I got to 50 last week, and then YouTube pulled it for whatever reason. I don't know, algorithm, whatever. I don't understand the trappings of it, really, other than how it impacts me. I don't want to know. It's just more than I need to know. But I do need to know how to build this channel because I know over time it becomes in jeopardy if it doesn't grow. So that's been my challenge this year, and I know so many of you have been challenged on so many levels, personally, spiritually, career, family, you name it. I know, I do. And so we're all in it together, and let's hope we can move through this, and I know we will. Let's stay strong and let's stay in the light because that's what really grounds and protects us ultimately. And let's move with the best intentions that we can muster in a given day. And before I do the cards, I'm going to spritz this house blessing spray. Dear Fefe, touched by tarot. The woman's amazing. She uses these products. And let's see if I got several. The art of the root is the company that she recommends. She gets a lot of her oils and sprays from. She knows that they use very good ingredients. Their oils, if you can see here, there are herbs and other things sitting in this that help to create the oil. So this one happens to be the goddess of abundance, and then I've got another one that's for calming, which is nice. But this spray is a house blessing spray, and I want to just use that in the area as I begin to pull cards for us for the community. I apologize because I grabbed these cards the other day, and I believe this one is Self-Care, which is Sacred Self-Care by Jill Pyle. Oy vey, let's see if I can get this. There we go. So that's this first grouping of cards, and I will shuffle these. I was going to do them ahead of time, and I know some people question if they don't actually hear or see the shuffling. They wonder, yeah, is this legit? Did you just go randomly through and pick the cards you want? No. There's a lot of integrity in this community, all across the board, the spiritual community. And that's one of the things that we stand on is our integrity. In the final analysis, it's one of the only things you have. If you don't have integrity, you have very little or anything. So, no. Okay. Now, let me see if I could do this. I've been in the process of trying to figure out how to show you cards. Oh, hey! Would you look at that? Okay. I'm sorry because of the angle. You may not... I don't know if this is going to work, guys. I'm working on a secondary camera that I can set to the side that will really kind of look at the cloth here and let you see. But here we go. So, sacred care for the community, please. As many cards as you feel is necessary, please. Okay. Oh, there's one way down here. Really? All right. And then we have this one. No. Come on. Where are you? Okay, 3 cards from that. From the Divine Beloved, or Sacred Care, I apologize. I don't know if I didn't pull Divine Beloved. I decided to go with the Dragon Oracle cards. This is the next group I'm going to pull from. Can you see this? Dragon Oracle cards. That's the book on it, but that's the cover of the deck itself, the box. And the back of the cards looks like that. So any of you that have followed me know that I dearly love dragons, always have. Was ecstatic to find out about my personal dragon who introduced himself a couple of years ago, finally came forward enough to give me a name and start telling me about himself and about our journey together. And we've been together many, 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 many lifetimes. So, he's a beautiful fire dragon, all in earth tones, massive being. A little intimidating, but I like him. I love him a lot. He almost purrs in my ear, kind of like that. All right. What do the dragons have for us today? What do you have? Oh, I like you already. There. Okay, this will be quicker. They just want to pop out. Well, okay, where? Thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right, I'll put you as a kicker, a possibility. How about that? I tell you, cards, rocks, pendulums, it's amazing. When they decide you want to play, they figure out you're in a playful mood, they all start jumping up and down. Pick me, pick me, pick me. And you're like, come on, you can't all be in this. But yes, I get that I get that a lot from the stones. In fact, I've been putting in squirrel moment. I apologize. I have a lot of them, but I've been putting some small bookshelves together that needed to be done so that I could uh, do my cookbooks. I needed another shelf unit for that, and then I wanted another one that would showcase some of the rocks better. I have a house full of rocks, so it's always interesting to try and highlight them. But yes, as I was putting and rearranging shelving, I was hearing, "Put me here. No, I want to be next to that one. No, I want to go to so and so now. I want to play with them for a while." So I mailed out several rocks to folks that the Stones told me they wanted to go to, and I'm still kind of putting them together where they want to be. But boy, I'll tell you, it gets loud real fast when they don't go next to somebody that they get along with. They keep nagging you till you get over there and straighten them out. They're worse than kids. And I don't exactly know how you put a stone in timeout, but I'm sure I've done it a time or two. Okay, how many on this one? This is the nature spirits one. Is this no. This is Ask Your Guides. This is the deck. It is by Sonia Choquette. I apologize if I butchered the name. Hopefully you could see it here. Choquette, something like that. Um, I'm sure it's, well, I'm not sure anything. I was going to say it's probably French, but I'd be wrong. I make no promises. But yes, let's see what our guides have to tell us. Gosh, these are such pretty cards. I do. I like the coloring, and that's the back. We don't want that one. I don't. Well, we are going to see a death of sorts, that's for sure. How many? How many? You want? You want four? Really? All right. Four it is. And there you go. Whew. Okay. And the last grouping. This one, it's I shoot. I don't have the box. I can't tell you which deck this is. It's an oracle deck. I know that much. And I apologize about that because I know I'm one that likes to know decks um, that people are using. I shared recently about the beautiful deck that I used, um, Spirit Spirit Whispers. I think it's called. No, Nature's Whispers. I used it on our last collaboration, and those cards are amazing. Libby over at Magister Tarot's first brought them out, and had seen them at a reader that she goes to for counseling and clarification, and they were so gorgeous. I had to finally send her a quick email and say, Libby, what were those cards? I can't find it on the spread that you did. I can't find what they were. And so she quickly wrote me back, and I dearly love that deck. It's a beautiful deck. But we are doing this, and let's see what this oracle deck has for us. You are really hiding in there. And here, I'm feeling one more. I'm feeling one more. Where are you? Where are you? All right, kicker over there. We have got our cards amassed, people. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to bring it up though because I don't know how well this angle is letting you see. I will hold up each of the cards so that you can see them. Our first one out is health checkup. We're getting to the end of the year, going into a new year. If you haven't had a checkup in the last year, I think Spirit is telling us for self-care that we need to be mindful of that and just rule out anything going on or we're just fine. But it's mostly to make sure we're starting the year on a good foot. So we have health checkup. This makes sense too. In this card, and I'm sorry, the number on that card, some people are like the numbers, is 26. This card is number 39, and it's plan a vacation for the next year. And what I want to focus on, or what really caught my eye, is the woman up here. I believe this is a spiritual vacation, not as in walking away from, but stepping deeper into and planning. Here she's got her beautiful third eye and, the crescent moons on either side. She's working on her spirituality and taking a vacation and a journey to help in that discovery and expand that discovery. So something to think about as we go into the new year. The number on this one, and this is the last one from this grouping of cards, which is, again, the Sacred Self-Care Oracle. It's number 1, abundance planning. I don't know if people always think that they can plan for abundance, but you certainly can, and especially in a time where manifesting is like breathing. You definitely can manifest abundance, and I can lend testimony to that personally. Yes, you can. And so, plan for abundance and weave it in and out of the year, letting one of the things I do every month at the start of the month, day 1, as soon as I get up in the morning, I get myself a palm full of cinnamon powder and I go to my front door. And what I do is I say a blessing to the universe, offering my gratitude and my willingness to accept everything and all that the universe wishes to bestow on me during this month, that I am ready, willing, able to serve. And you blow that intention into your house and things happen. So, abundance planning. Always being grateful for the abundance before it ever hits your door. You know it's coming. And when you're that sure, it arrives. Okay, next we go to the dragons. And the dragons, hello, I turned you guys. I've got a green dragon from Sirius staring at me. Green Jold. I didn't turn the deck over. He's just waving at me. This blue dragon is from the Pleiades. Prepares you to accept source healing. Accept a heart activation. Give and receive heart healing. Beautiful. Beautiful for this time. And going into the new year, what a promise. Beautiful promise from the blue dragon. And we know the Pleiadians are helping. They're one of the divine groups that are evolved enough to be able to come and help. And we thank them for that. Another dragon, another blue. This is called the deep blue dragon. Keeps you safe by clearing your pathway. Well, we need that. Trust that you are protected. Walk on a path of light. Walk on a path of light. You are protected. Claim it, know it, put it on like an armor suit, and walk out with your shoulders back and your head high, knowing the deep blue dragon is riding along with you. No surprise the fire dragon shows up, does every time I use this deck. The fire dragon, burns up the lower energies around you. You are safe and protected. Be determined and inspired. Clear your soul pathway. Bingo. Bingo. The fire dragon. Remember, he's there. I'm sorry this is going to go a little longer than I like to do them, but it feels important, so I'm going to continue. Okay, this beautiful deck I was talking about that has the beautiful back, and it is Ask Your Guides, and it's the one that has that Sonia. I'm sorry, Sonia, I can't say your last name well, but that's this group. So, deprivation, prosperity guides. If you are feeling a bit of deprivation at this point in time, know that the prosperity guides are coming in and are around you, and know your needs and are ready to help you fulfill them. Also from this deck, compromise, master teacher. It is an art to be able to compromise and do so with integrity, making sure all players feel validated, understood, and are in agreement with whatever the totality is coming out of that all are not in compromise, but being so to be the master teacher. So compromise isn't necessarily a negative. Don't view it that way. Anything coming at us right now, we have to flip. If it feels like it's coming in as a negative, no. Flip that coin and see the positive in it and take it from that route. Unless there's something that is being done that negativity is pointing to, that's a real teacher too. Only we can decide that for ourselves and what that message is. And I pray all of you find the master teacher within, because we need the masters. We are all being called to it and quickened to it and reminding that we are indeed masters. That's why we're here for this time. And we need to reclaim that mastery, because it's simply in the recesses, forgotten in the fog of coming into the physical. Clear that fog. Clear it out. It's a detriment if you don't. This is what we're here to do. I love this. Gifts. Joy guides. One of the things I shared in my first video was that after my divorce, my first marriage lasted 10 years and we divorced. And it had been a hard marriage in a lot of ways. I got 2 beautiful children, and my ex and I have become good friends. So we have a very comfortable arrangement in extended family. But when I left that marriage, my first ideal was joy. I was in a Search for God study group, Edgar Casey study group at the time. And one of the things, I think it's like the second lesson, is you set your ideal. And mine came through loudly as joy. If I could not have joy in my life, what was the point? Is where I was at. And as I listened to my fellows in the study group all speaking their ideals, they sounded so lofty and wonderful, and I thought, brother, am I just a simpleton? All I want is joy. And so when my turn came, I was a little sheepish, and I said, well, this is honestly what I have and what I'm putting forward ahead of me in life going forward, and that is joy. I want to be about joy. And I was told that's actually a very high um, ideal. And yes, it's not easy to be joyful in a world that's trying to beat it out of you at every turn, seemingly some days. But no, it's why I'm always trying to smile, even if there's tears in the background, because I understand the need for the tears, but more so I know the need to present joy and let that lead ahead of me. And so that's what I try to do. So joy, people, in the new year, find joy and let joy be your guide. Discipline, master teacher again. So discipline is a derivative of disciples. Disciples. It's a good word. There's a reason that the Master Jesus referred to his quorum as disciples. What a beautiful thing to be called to in this work, is to not only be the master teacher, but emulating the discipline. All right, last group of cards. Okay, and these are, I don't have the book. These are the ones I do not know, with the blue backing that's so gorgeous. But this card is number 1 in this deck. It is consciousness, optimism. We are being called to optimism, to find the ability, even in those what seem to be dark moments, to be able, again, to flip that coin and find optimism. It's important. It feeds our soul and thereby feeds the souls of others. And that is part of our requirement. Okay, next, this card is number 3, energy. Letting go. And I love that she's got crazy dogs on a leash, and look at the Jack Russell. I had one of these, or I should say we had one of these, and they are as crazy as a lunatic sometimes. But yes, letting go, using energy, let go of what no longer serves, only bring in that which calms, which soothes, which truly brings you to the deeper wells within. Next we have card number 5, which is the cycle of transformation. Well, there we go. We know we are in transformative times, and we are being called towards transformation. Let's do it in joy. Let's do it full-throatedly and with great optimism, and if nothing else, with the enthusiasm of a child. That is holding the child within, not to be childish, but to be childlike. And that is important in these times. Now, we had a couple of kickers here that I decided, well, maybe we'll use them, maybe we won't, but I think we will. And one is from the Dragon deck, and that is Alpha Dragon. Harnesses the divine masculine power of creation. Destroy the old. Visualize your dream. Help to manifest a new world. There you go. These guys aren't lying. No, the cards don't lie. And you guys watch me shuffle them and pull them. There we go. There's our mandate as we go forward to this new year. New energies, new times. Let's be about it. Let's be enthusiastic in it. And let's manifest it for all the good. Whether folks know it or not, at least once it's manifested, hopefully their eyes open and they have more choice, right? That's no longer on us. That's on them, but we have to put through what we can. And I'm quickly hit the hour mark. Last card. Last card is number 6, consciousness, deserving. Be about consciousness and know that you are deserving of all that the light has to give and all that the Creator has for us. Embrace it. Own it. This is card number 6. Transform. Know that you deserve, and it will be. And on that, I offer you blessings, beautiful holidays, however you choose to spend them. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, on and on and on. However, whatever mechanism you use, or if you use none, if you celebrate Yule, bless you in your Yule celebration. And on that note, I'm going to wish you all a happy day. I hope you have found something of value in this sharing. If you did, please take it with you and incorporate it into your life. If you didn't, leave it here. I take no offense either way. And for this segment, this is BJ at BJ's Esoteric Musings, always reminding that this is for entertainment purposes only. I hope you see value here, and I thank you for your time. And I say bye-bye.